Good morning. It's been a while since I've done a video. So crazy busy. Work's been busy, family's been busy. I've had orders, which is nice. So I got stuff up here ready to be made, and these down here ready to be delivered, and these over here can be sold. So, I like being this busy, and then sometimes, what I've learned is, at my work, because I work for a behavioral health agency, what my work says, what I've learned is your body doesn't know the difference between good stress and bad stress, right? And so when hard things happen in the world, what's going on? Hard stress. And when I've got all this fun stuff to do, it's still stressful, and I can still get tired, get a headache, and overeat, and still do all of that same crazy stuff. So is there such a thing as self-care from your self-care? I don't know. I'll have to ask at work. So anyway, so what I'm going to do today is create some Hypertufa. I've really been wanting to do some more Hypertufa. So I've gone ahead and started my Hypertufa mix, and I'm using, in this particular mix, I'm using peat moss, vermiculite, perlite, sand, and the Portland cement. Now, most Hypertufa recipes are saying, oh, you can use either perlite or vermiculite. I like to be able to use the perlite. That way I use less sand, so it's lighter. But look at this. I love the vermiculite. I don't know if you can tell, but look at it. These sparkle. The vermiculite sparkles. Kind of gives that extra hint that this is stone, but it's not. We're fibbing. It's Hypertufa. Anyway, so this is the cool thing. I also use the Hypertufa to make these really cute pumpkins. And so these are for an order later. But anyway, so that's what I've got going here. I've already in my mixing pot here I've used 1 can. So this is a 28-ounce can of canned tomatoes. My husband makes a really good spaghetti sauce. Anyway, this is 1 can of, there we go, 1 can of the perlite, 1 can of the vermiculite, 1 can of sand before it's sifted. This is what's left over after I sift it. I just throw this out on my gravel driveway out here. And I have 2 cans of the peat moss right here. And the peat moss is 2 cans before it is sifted also. And so what I'm doing here is I'm sifting out, so I have just the fine peat moss that's left. All of this that's going to be left, I use for my potting soil. So I use the big stuff. You want to sift it because there's big sticks and clods inside of it. So I've just taken an old canvas frame, I've just taken a canvas frame and I've stapled a window screen to it, and this is my sifter, and I just do this to get as much of the fine stuff through. Sometimes, like in this little pot, I didn't sift it for this little pot, and look, you can see there's bigger chunks, things in the Hypertufa, and if you like that, go ahead and just don't sift it. And sometimes I do want it sifted. So anyway, this is the process of doing that. And I'm going to sift 1 more can. You don't need to watch me do that because it's a little boring. And then we'll move on, okay? Okay, so I'm ready to mix up this, all of these dry ingredients here, kind of like, mixing up a cake. You're going to mix up all the dry ingredients first. So I've got my mask on, right, because we want to make sure that, because this is all dry cement, we don't want to be breathing that in, so safety first, okay? I'm wearing my glasses, so I'm not going to put my goggles on, but I am going to put my gloves on. I've lotioned my hands, and I don't always wear gloves, because my hands, they're a mess. And so, when I do wear gloves, I will lotion or moisturize my hands first. And I like to wear like 3 pairs of gloves. And there's a reason for that. When your hands are all gooey, you don't want to get you know, and you got to change gloves, and then your hands are gooey, and how are you going to change gloves with gooey hands? You'll get all the goo inside your glove and blah, blah, blah. So I usually wear 3 layers of gloves when I'm going to wear them. So I've got this nice pair that fits a little snugly for I'm going to do if I need to do some molding and shaping. Then I've got this next little pair that's a little bit larger. And I have my latex mixing gloves. So these get too big and clunky once you get cement in all of them, and so these can slide right off just like that. And now I'm down to my next set that's going to do a little bit more fine work, and then if I need, down to my last set. So it seems silly, but it's just helps me to keep my gloves cleaner. And you know, over here, look, my husband, so sweet to me. Right here, there's this little guy right here is actually a sink. And so we can hook the hose up to it from the front of the house, and I can have running water. Ah! My husband is tired of seeing cement handprints all over the house. So it's his self-preservation. So anyway, I'm going to mask on. So I'm going to mix what's in here now. Then I'm going to put in, I'm going to start with 1 can, but I think this is going to take almost 3 cans of water. Okay, that was 1 can of water, and I'm only going to use half of this one. So this is where I usually like to take my gloves off, but there we go. Hypertufa, this is it. It'll pack together, and that's what you want it to be able to do. Yay! All right, I'm gonna go rinse my gloves and then take them off. What I have going here, and I've done a couple of things already. With this Hypertufa mix, I created, one of my viewers from South Africa. I love knowing where all of you are from. It just is so exciting. She just let me know they're coming into winter, and isn't it funny? We're coming into summer. You know, I just love, I'm fascinated with how the world is and all of you. I do tell my husband, I read him some of your responses and comments to me, and I said, it's nice to know, honey, that I'm not the only one of me out there in the world. He just rolls his eyes. So anyway, I created this. This was inspired by Crafty Garden Treasures. Follow her Instagram. I'll put that down in the description here. She makes these really cute bird baths, and she puts little lighthouse embellishments on them and like that. So I've created this Hypertufa bird bath that I'm going to put a gnome house on. So I just wanted you to see how this worked. All right, I'm going to lower this down here. So I have this because it's set. It's not completely dry and cured, but it's set enough to move. So this is a platter, a plastic serving platter I got from our Dollar Tree that I'll be able to use again. And it just pops out. You just kind of have to loosen it around the edges here, and then I was able to pop it out. You could put a spray on it so it doesn't stick. And then look at that. Isn't that so cool? You get that pattern in it, and it's going to look like stone. It's just really cool. Here's the back. And so what I will do is very gently kind of smooth off some of these rough edges. I don't want to smooth them all off, because that's the whole purpose of Hypertufa, is for it to look, you know, a little bit rugged. And as you all know, me and precision, no. So this is kind of cool that it can be nature-like. so rough and not perfect. But I want to take those really hard, rough edges off. And since this is still damp, it's easy to do any changing on it that I want to do. So all I did to make this, I put this form on my sheet of plastic, and then I just put the Hypertufa over it to get where you can have the same thickness all the way around. And I didn't do that. You could draw a circle on your plastic or on your table, that 1 inch or ½ inch away from your platter, and then you know your Hypertufa shouldn't go out farther, or it needs to go out a little farther. But I just put it over there, and then I just wrapped it up, and I had it there overnight. And then it's able to do a little bit more with it today. And so what I'm going to do later is I am going to add a little gnome house embellishment to this. So I wanted you to see out of that same Hypertufa mix what I made. All right, so here we are. As you remember, we had the Hypertufa Birdbath base already created. I made that yesterday. It's not all the way dry, but it's nice and set. It's going to take it a bit longer, as you all know. Hypertufa takes a little while. But as I mentioned, one of my new friend, we've decided that we could be crafting friends. I bet some of you and I could also be crafting friends. I'm trying to get brave enough to go do a live YouTube. I don't know, but you know, how do I work the time frame for all of you that are in New Zealand or South Africa or the UK, here in the States? That's going to be tricky. Be kind of fun though if I can figure it out. So, but what I'm going to do right now is I've got some papercrete mixed up here. And I'm going to do it this way because this gives me more light surface up here. So that means I'm going to need to make a little base out here, some, you know, hills or grass or something, and then the gnome roof will go across this way. So let's see if we can make that happen. Okay, I've got my papercrete made up here, just the right consistency that I want it to be. And notice I'm not wearing my gloves again because it's really hard for me to wear gloves and do this stuff. I've got all of my little tools over here, my little bucket of water, and let's see if we can do this. So I'm going to set this light bulb right in there like so. And make sure that he's fixed in there pretty good. There we go. Put a nice little base around him. We can make it grass-like. We can paint some flowers on it or something. I don't know as we go, since that's what we're doing with this. And I'm using a plastic mat that I can work on, and then it will just pop right off of there really easily. There we go. Yes, these are cake decorating tools I'm using. It's what I have. It's what I can find. Actual art supplies are expensive. And I'm not rich, so I use what I can get at my Dollar Tree or at the thrift store or yard sales. There we go. So there's our little mound. We want to make a window. I always want to place my windows first so I don't cheat myself on my light space. So I'm just going to go and make this little window here. I have lots of these little light bulbs because we have these string lights that go around our house at night that light our house, and so when they burn out, then I have these extra bulbs. Sadly, my husband decided to be economical, and our last set he got are the LED ones. So they won't burn out very fast, so I'm not going to get light bulbs a lot anymore, but I still have quite a few of these. So we're going to get a few creations out of my stash. And then I'm going to put the window back here. Remember, I want to have a window in the back so that the light can shine through, so it looks like the gnomes are home. That was fun. Okay, so I've been trying to get back to you on this project with the little bird bath. So, you know, sometimes things don't always work out if you don't think things through from beginning to end. So I did the little bird bath. Look at this. It's got the little gnome house. It's all dry. Put little ladybugs on it. And I was so proud of it. And I went and filled it up with just like this. Can anybody see the problem here? I've drowned the ladybugs and the gnome house is flooded. So, lesson learned. What I need to do, and I'm going to do that, is, of course, create another one, which I have already. This time, I got to build a platform to put the little gnome house on so that the water will just come up to, you know, the little top of the hill and not flood my gnome house. And the poor ladybugs are just drowned. They're like dead now. So. Let's see the one that's completed, shall we? So here's, oh, my hair's messed up. So here it is done correctly. There we go. That's what I was after. Think things through, everyone. I think what I love the most about creating, other than the actual, you know, experimenting and failure and success and failure some more, is all of the amazing people I've been able to meet through my YouTube channel and Instagram. And I see your art that you share with me. Thank you for sharing it. It's so wonderful. I get very excited. As you can see, I get inspired by all of you as well. So thank you for sharing that. And that's what I think I've come to enjoy the most. And I don't get out here and do a lot of videoing recently. It's so crazy. But I'm so grateful that those of you that are asking me to share a little bit more, and you're asking me some questions, that I can share some thoughts with you. And then as we exchange information, I can also learn and get inspired by you as well. So I hope all of you will continue to visit with me, communicate, ask your questions, give me your thoughts, give me your insights, and just thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. I hope you have a good day.